So a while back, I asked you guys to give me some suggestions that you guys had for future video topics. Just a 5 to 10 minute video where I could talk to you guys about whatever topic you guys found to be the most interesting. And one particular suggestion that was thrown out there was talk about why Sasuke only has one arm. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. As soon as I read that, I was like, ooh, yo, that's a good one. Like, that's a good one. And I'm gonna say this now. When you start going into the Naruto New Era project materials, so that would be the Naruto Boruto the movie and the different novels that came out and the Naruto guidance stuff, there's nothing officially that tells us why Sasuke only has one arm. Like, there's a bunch of small breadcrumbs that are dropped, but nothing official. And so, yes, this will essentially be mostly headcanon. This is just my belief, but I'm basing a lot of this based off of rereading the Naruto manga. And the reason why I say rereading the Naruto manga is when you read Sasuke as a character, like when you read the manga and you follow Sasuke's story in particular, which depending on who you ask, I mean, the whole Naruto story, in particular Naruto Shippuden's anime, is basically the Sasuke and the Uchiha story. But when you look at Sasuke's story, so much of Sasuke is him reacting. I really feel as if Sasuke is a tragic character in a way. He's a character that's always wrestling with something internally. Like when we first get introduced to him, Sasuke is wrestling with what happened in his past. Itachi murdered his family, murdered his clan. He's related to a clan killer, which is one of the absolute worst things that you can do and be. And then he's wrestling with his own darkness. He's wrestling with the fact that Team 7 is potentially holding him back, and he can't be the person strong enough to stop his brother if he's playing ninja with Naruto and Sakura, and he's growing feelings and attachments to these people. And then he's wrestling with the fact that his brother had love for Konoha, and yet he was manipulated by people like Danzo. He was betrayed by his village. His name was run through the mud by his village. Itachi will forever be remembered as a villain. And Sasuke was at the point where he was willing to kill his best friend. He was willing to kill Naruto and kill the 5 Kage in order to essentially be darkness. He was willing to use the forbidden Uchiha dojutsu in order to rewrite reality. He was willing to use the Rinnegan's abilities to bring himself back to life, and that's probably due to the fact he was going to use a timed release or something and probably force somebody to use Edo Tensei and reverse the seals. The Sasuke had a bunch of different ways to do that. That's one of the reasons why he said that he had all of immortality at his disposal. And so when you look at Sasuke's character, Sasuke is someone who, when he's made a mistake, it stays with him. It stays there. Sasuke is a thinker. He's always thinking. He's a very brooding character. Like, in a lot of ways, I like to say that Sasuke is like the Batman of Konoha. Yes, a lot of people say it's Itachi, but Sasuke really reminds me of Batman in a lot of ways. And so when you start asking, why does Sasuke only have one arm? Why doesn't he allow for Tsunade to make an arm for him? Like, I know the Naruto Shippuden anime had it where Sasuke was like, yeah, I'm just going to leave the village. I know Tsunade's almost done making my arm. Having an arm will be very handy when I have those long nights and I'm thinking, damn it, I'm left-handed. I'm thinking about Sakura right now, but my right hand's been taken from me. Or my left hand's been taken. It's gonna be a little awkward using my right hand. Like, yes, having a right hand would have came in handy, or whatever hand it was. I forgot what I said on that. But the thing is, it's like when you look at Sasuke, for him, not having that arm, it's a reminder of what Sasuke falling into the darkness cost him. It cost him those attachments. It cost him that feeling of love and camaraderie with the people in the Hidden Leaf Village. It drove him to a point where he was willing to become the evil force that united the world to stand against him. Sasuke was willing to walk a very long and dark and lonely road, which is why Naruto fought so hard to connect and reach him during the final battle and eventually stop him. For Sasuke, not having that arm is a way for him to continue his atonement. That's his cost. Sasuke, in a lot of ways, his decision not to have that arm, I feel like that represents the fact that, like, in life, some crimes, they never leave you behind. You sometimes, depending on what you've done, you can serve your jail time, okay? You can serve your time. But if you kill somebody and you do, say, 15 years, wherever you go, you're always going to be remembered as a murderer. You're always going to be remembered as a murderer. You're not going to be looked at the same. It doesn't matter what you accomplish. Somebody can always say, yeah, well, who are you to talk about character? You killed somebody in cold blood and you knew what you were doing. And with Sasuke, it's kind of the same thing. Sasuke could never be Hokage simply for the fact that he's done too much. He's done too much wrong. Yes, some of it is due to the fact that, he was manipulated by Orochimaru. He was consumed by darkness. He was acting against the 5 great nations in the war because he had his own selfish notions, but they were ideas that he believed were best for the world. And that's a whole different discussion in itself. But for Sasuke, a lot of that, I feel, of him not having that arm is due to the fact that, for him, it's something that will keep him from walking down that path again. Because let's be clear, if Sasuke gets on this whole thing of like, oh my God, these Kage, they're fighting again, they're starting trouble behind the scenes, Sasuke will show up in the middle of the night and he will Shidori somebody. He will start another ninja war if he thinks that that's what needs to be done. Yes, on one hand, he's willing to trust into Naruto, and yet on the other hand, somewhere in the back of Sasuke's mind, he's still wrestling with that darkness, because that's one of the things that the Sasuke Shinden novel, not the one that is set in the Boruto era, but the one that is set right before Sasuke returns back to the village. In that novel, it was very strongly implied and hinted that Sarada had already been born. That's the Sasuke versus Chino stuff. And in that novel, Sasuke talks about how losing his family and losing people that he loves is enough that he will be driven back into the darkness. And I feel like because Sasuke is aware of that, and because essentially he's terrified of that whole reaction that the Uchiha have based off of their capacity to love, and based off of how far Sasuke will go out of love. Because everything he did, when you look at it, that's why I say he's tragic. When you look at it, everything Sasuke did was out of love. When he went to not fight Orochimaru, but gain power with Orochimaru, it was to avenge his clan, the same clan that he loved. When he killed a Hokage candidate in Danzo and talked about destroying the Hidden Leaf Village, he was willing to do so because he loved his brother. He loved his brother despite the fact that his brother slaughtered their clan, because his brother loved the Hidden Leaf Village more so than his clan. And so when you look at it, everything Sasuke's done has essentially been done out of the whole thing of love. And so him not having that arm, that opens up the door for Sasuke, whenever he tiptoes that line, that opens the door for him to remember that my actions have consequences. And at the same time, it's very symbolic. On one hand, he fought Naruto and both of them lost an arm. And yet Naruto has been given a new arm. Sasuke doesn't have one. One's in the light. The other one isn't. A great way to put this, and I think I'm going to end it with this, right? I think I'm going to put some real world stuff in here for you, right? Like, Naruto being the Hokage is essentially like Naruto being a politician, okay? Naruto has to have that appearance. It would look too weird for the most powerful person on the planet, for the Hokage of the village, someone that little kids look to, and he has to have this open figure, this happy aura about him. It looks too weird that, oh yeah, he's only got one arm. That'll scare a little kid. Okay? And when you look at Sasuke, Sasuke's that character that if you're in the underworld, we know that people are scared of Sasuke because when Boruto and Boruto's team bring back the guy from the bandits, which the anime will probably be covering next year, but when they bring that guy back to the village and Sasuke is essentially like, oh yeah, I know all about you guys. Yeah, tell me more about this Kara organization. We find out Sasuke has been searching through the underworld looking for answers. Like Sasuke's doing all the dirty work. He's doing everything in the darkness, and him not having that arm, he fits in that, okay? Like the person that is the root doesn't have to be pretty, but the tree, the flower has to be pretty. And so the real world example I want to use is like when I was living in Tennessee, right? Like when I was living in Tennessee, one of the things that, I found out was that when you look at Harold Ford Jr. He was he was a congressman. He ran for Senate. He was a congressman. And one of my old bosses had met Harold Ford Jr. right before he got ready to start running, right? Like, so when he's in the groundwork, when he's laying the groundwork for all of the campaign stuff, they spent $35,000 fixing up his smile, like doing all the dental work and fixing up his appearance and all the other stuff, because he was going to be someone that was presented out to the people. He was going to be someone that needed to be the pretty boy. And yet the other Ford brother, the other one was the one who was out in the community and getting his hands dirty. He was the one that was going out into different minority communities, and he was the less attractive of the two. And it's the same thing with Naruto and Sasuke, right? Like Naruto, his new arm, that's that $35,000 smile right there. Naruto has to be the poster child. And I really feel as if when you look at the Shikamaru Shinden novel, the Shikamaru Hiden novel that was covered in Naruto Shippuden, that's one of the things that the anime did get right and the novel went further in detail about. What Shikamaru did by taking that assassination mission is he's saying like, no, like the Hokage does not need to have his hands dirty. The future Hokage, Naruto, does not need to go on to something like this that can taint his reality. Naruto being the poster child, he has to stay pure. He cannot be tainted. It's part of the same reason why Shikamaru takes it upon himself in the Shikamaru Shinden novel that's set in the Boruto generation to essentially try and attack some of the Kage, because Naruto can't do it. He's going to be that fall guy. Another example to use for you would be like how in the Batman The Dark Knight movie, right? Christian Bale's Batman has that conversation where he tells Police Chief Gordon, like, the world can never know that Harvey Dent was Two-Face. He has to be the hero. He has to be remembered as a hero. He cannot be remembered as the madman. They can never know about this side of him. They need their pretty boy. They need their poster child. And yet Batman was the hero. Well, Sasuke's that Batman. Sasuke is the one in the shadows, keeping the village safe and gaining the information and knowledge that can help Naruto make the proper decisions. It's the yin and yang stuff. And I think that that's a pretty genius idea. But I mean, those are my thoughts on this matter, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But before we get out of here, as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share, and never forget that Senju DNA is love and Senju DNA is life.